Marcus Rashford with the winner. He scores again for Manchester United and puts Erik ten Hag's men fourth in the table into a Champions League spot. And it was hard fought. It was a hard fought, difficult game. Wolves were buoyant. Wolves were on Man United. And it wasn't the greatest of displays. Let's not get it twisted. Man United were not at their potent best. They weren't at their fluid best. They weren't cutting, although they created a number of very good chances, they weren't cutting Wolves open left, right, and center. And in fact, a number of big chances missed. Huge. Anthony Martial, Anthony, Garnacho, all missing, for me, sitters. For me, absolute sitters with their head, with their feet, not even making contact. And you started to think, could there be a big problem here? Could Manchester United be about to drop more points and bottle our first chance of the season to leapfrog an opponent into a Champions League place, to apply that pressure to Newcastle, apply that pressure to City, apply that pressure to Tottenham, who kick off tomorrow? Marcus Rashford, as we all know, was dropped. Marcus Rashford, as we all know, was not in the team. Marcus Rashford kicked out for disciplinary issues. And everyone's going to have a different opinion as to whether or not the manager is right or not. The manager is absolutely spot on to leave him out. The manager is absolutely correct to keep increasing the standards, the discipline nature, and of course the culture that he wants to create. The club comes first. The manager has overarching power. And I was actually angry at Rashford when we were struggling, because I thought, if we had you on from the start, maybe we'd be winning. But it's your fault you're not playing, so you're going to take the brunt of the responsibility. But Rashford comes on and delivers. Rashford comes on and helps Man United grind out this result. Rashford comes on with the bit between his teeth and says, I am one of the best players at United. I am one of the best players in the league. I am one of the best attackers in world football. And Marcus Rashford is delivering against that now, week in, week out. He's found his level again. Not in good form. He's not in a purple patch. He has found his level again. He had bad shoulder injury, bad ankle injury, playing in a very poor Man United team that was falling apart at the seams, and he looked horrendous. But he has come back and he's worked hard and he's got himself back into this position. And I am nothing but absolutely proud of this young man. Not just for what he's done off the pitch, not just for his career so far. He's nearly in the top 10 goal scorers of all time at Man United. He's won 3 trophies. He's about to hit his pomp. And if Man United can get this right with new owners, we have an absolute winner, an absolute star in Marcus Rashford. An absolute star in Marcus Rashford. And on Man United, the grinding out of the result was so key. And I tweeted something in the game. I'm going to go and retweet somebody's comment on it now. I tweeted in the game because I meant this, and I want to read my tweet out. I said, top teams win these tough games. Top teams win these tough games is what I tweeted. And Igal commented with a simple, yep. And I know what Igal was saying. Igal was saying, yep, top teams win it. You're not one. You're not going to win the game. And at least we now have Igal admitting, I'm going to tweet out, Igal admitting Man United are a top team. All right, let's just type this out here. Hang on, are a top team. Why is it not in capitals? Are a top team. Love it is what I'm tweeting out there. Because it's true. This Man United team is becoming a top team. This Man United team is becoming hard to beat, resolute, and strong. And we're doing it with Luke Shaw at centre-back. We're doing it without a recognised number 9. We're doing it 16 games into Erik ten Hag. And yes, he's a great coach. Yes, he has great tactics. Yes, he's a brilliant man manager. But the most important thing that United fans aren't focusing on is what United have done behind the scenes, the power they've given him, the control they've given him, the authority that they've given him. That is what is allowing Ten Hag to cook. It isn't because he's a good coach. It isn't because he's a good man manager. It's the foundation underneath that. The way he handled the Ronaldo situation, the way he gazumped the boards once in the summer and signed his players. They didn't want Lisandro Martinez. They didn't. He made that happen. He made them stop buying Rabiot and buy Casemiro. He ensured they didn't give Rashford a brand new 300 grand a week deal until he proved that he could get back to his best. The power they've given him is far more palpable, far more important, and far more influential than the tactics and the man management. That stuff will come later, and we're seeing that. But it's built upon what I've been crying out for a goddamn decade. A manager to have control, power, authority. And the fact he's got that means his ability as a coach, his ability as a manager with the players can flourish. My only wish now, my late Christmas grown-up wish, is that they allow this to continue. Because I've seen rivals and Ten Hag haters online, Rashford proved Ten Hag wrong. No, he didn't. Rashford came on and said, I'm sorry, boss. Rashford came on and said, supporters of Man United, I'm sorry I let you down. There's the winner for you. This Man United team is creating something brilliant. It's nowhere near completion. Still got to get the windows on. Still got to get the roof on. Got to get the furniture ordered. Got to get the landscaping done. But the foundation has been built. The foundation has been built. I want to see more from this. I want to see progression from this point. Because today impresses me more than how we battered Forest. Today impressed me more than when we beat Arsenal. Today has impressed me more than when we beat Liverpool. Because we weren't that great, but we saw it through. Today impressed me because the manager, disciplined, and most informed attacker. It impressed me because he dragged off the right players at the right time. It impresses me because he knows that Luke Shaw as a centre-back is better for the system than Harry Maguire. It impresses me because at the start of the season, he was making the same old mistakes that the previous managers had made. But he wasn't. He was giving some of these players rope to hang themselves with. He was giving them the opportunity to prove the Ollies and the Ralph Ragnicks wrong. This Man United team is building something that can go on to win major trophies. Not now, not this season, but they can do it. The foundation is being built. The signings have been on point, barring one of them that we'll talk about a little bit later in Anthony. There's still a lot more to come from him. But this team is becoming dangerous. And this team is impressing me, and this team is making me happy. Thank you, Ten Hag. And thank you to the board for allowing a manager to actually have control of the dressing room for the first time since Fergie left. Because they haven't had that. Every time they've wanted something, they've been told no. Want to sell this player? No, he's a commercial man. Can't get rid of him. Getting rid of Ronaldo has probably cost Man United sponsorship deals. But they allowed it to happen for the right reasons, the footballing reasons. Doesn't mean I forgive the Glazers. Doesn't mean I forgive this board for 17 years of ridiculousness. But it means that what the likes of myself and the likes of Neeks and the likes of KJ have been talking about for years. It isn't just about spending money and bringing in a good manager. That is needed, but it's what's behind it that counts. And this Manchester United team today impressed me massively. And this is the kind of comment I love. Scraping a win against Wolves with a jammy goal, dangerous. Now, you're an Arsenal fan. You're an Arsenal fan. You saying that is the most hypocritical and ironic comment I will get in the comment section today. Because Arsenal this season are title contenders. But go back to the game against Leeds. Go back to the game against Southampton. Just take out those two games. Both games, when you watch it back, you could have lost, maybe should have lost, but you walked away with 4 points. Arsenal have had a number of games this season where they weren't the best team on the football pitch. A couple of games this season where they weren't the best team on the football pitch. But they walked away with the wins, and that's what top teams do. Now, Arsenal were ahead of Manchester United. But do not get it twisted. Poor teams lose today. Poor teams don't see it through. Poor teams crumble. Poor teams don't go on 14 game runs with only one defeat. Poor teams Don't win 5 on the bounce with three clean sheets. Poor teams aren't developing a style of play. So you can try and banter me as a United fan all you want, but I'm just going to be smiling, my brother. Because for an Arsenal fan to say that means you don't understand your own football club. Means you have no idea of your own identity and what you've come through and what you've achieved to get here. The crazy thing about Arsenal trying to banter United today is that you're celebrating some of the same things. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Thank you, Bertrand. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. You know, it's just one of those things. I'm an Arsenal fan, but I can give credit where it's due. The win is more important than anything, but this United team is growing. They weren't poor in this game. We were poor in the finishing. We were poor in finishing. Casemiro's header, a little bit unfortunate. Anthony's header should have buried it, as an example. Garnacho should have buried that opportunity that he was given. Should have buried it. Martial at the end of the first half. How he missed that, I don't know. He nearly gave the goalie a cold as he missed the ball. Anthony, I think, was offside, but still missed his chance. Multiple chances. Bruno, shot blocked. Falls to Anthony. Scrapes to the goalie. United weren't bad today, but we weren't at a scintillating best, but we got the job done. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Well, Southampton were good in the first half, but go back and watch the second half of that game. You know what I mean? Man United were good in this. Man United had the most chances today. Gilt-edged chances. Man United were the better team today. We weren't outclassed by Wolves, but we just weren't quite finishing our dinner, but we still got the job done. Calm down. What did it say? Calm down, triggered much. I ain't triggered, bruv. I'm in a good mood. It's New Year's Eve. I can enjoy the rest of the football. Buzzing. Big up, Terry. Ten Heisenberg doing big things. Listen, the way he's handled the discipline side of things at Man United, I'm falling ever more in love with Erik Ten Hag. Big 3 points. Wolves away is always a tough game for United. Big attitude by Rashford. Big up AWB and David De Gea. Ten Hag, my manager. Also, screw you, VAR rules are dumb. To address all of that, yeah, David De Gea today, some big saves from him. AWB, look, going forward, he annoys me, but that block in the first half, key, defensively very strong. VAR, listen, it was handball and our second goal should have been disallowed, but it was far less handball than the block made by Kilman in the second half from Anthony's shot. The rule needs looking at more than VAR, because if one isn't handball because it's accidental, then they have to allow goals to be scored that way as well. The decisions were correct based on the law, but the law's wrong. United will get top 4 and Spurs ain't getting top 6. Been saying it all season. Anthony needs to start showing up because he's not been that great so far. We'll save that when the panel come out in a moment. I've got a great panel. KJ, Dizzy, my brother Neeks is back. I ain't seen him in a minute. That De Gea save after the Neves free kick. I won't mind him at Liverpool if we can't get Caicedo. Yeah, Neves needs to move away from Wolves. He needs to move away from Wolves. Otherwise, he's going to end up like Ndidi. He's going to end up going backwards. He needs something to rejuvenate him. He needs something to push him to another level. Would you take Shaw as a third choice centre back? You can get away with it against Wolves. They don't have a recognised potent number 9. You can get away with it against Forest. You won't get away with that against top teams. Harry Kane would have him for dinner as a centre back. Darwin Núñez would have him for dinner. Haaland would destroy him. But the manager clearly making a big statement with who he prefers. Because I know they say Maguire was ill, but he's been on the bench 2 games running, so he's well enough to play. He's laying down the marker there. Is it too early to praise Ten Hag here? Or wow. No, we're praising what he's done so far, but I'm not saying that's it. Rebuild complete. Let's relax and expect to win a league title. But you can praise progression. I'm not going to be league gunner and be angry at my team every day when I see progression. And by the way, the majority of my pressure is on the board, allowing him to develop what's needed. All on them. It's down to each and every single one of them. Simple as that for me. Dan here says, I think when Neves gets his move, the same thing that happens with Basuma. Maybe. Yeah, Basuma's been really poor at Spurs this year, so that could happen. There's no doubt. but I think he'll be okay personally. Any questions or any points you want to raise for the panel, get your super chats in now, my people. Make sure like buttons are being smashed as well. Hit that like button right now. Make sure you're subscribing to the Football Terrace. But if you're just tuning in, Marcus Rashford with another winner. I actually think, I want to get this stat verified, I think Marcus Rashford has more winners for Man United than any other player in our club's history. Maybe that's from the bench, but I read a tweet similar to that. I want to get that verified. Marcus Rashford with winning goals for days. This man is clutch. This guy is brilliant. I'm so glad he's back to his best. My panel's coming out now to have their say on the show. Hit the like and the share button as I say, let's do it. Welcome back, boys. Welcome back. I know it's not quite New Year yet, but hello, Dizzy. As I see a lady behind you.
Who's that in the back, Dizzy?
It's a lady. I see a lady behind you.
Mind your business, gentlemen.
Dizzy. Happy New Year's, my brother.
Happy New Year, my G.
Dizzy getting busy at New Year's Eve, you know. Dizzy getting busy there. I see you. But
Ridiculous.
Listen, a big win for Man United. A tough, close game. Last minute winner, essentially, a late winner from Rashford. What we saying, KJ? What we saying, brother?
That is a beautiful win. We weren't playing the greatest. We were missing chances after chance after chance. But we bring on a player who's been disciplined and he comes on with the winner. I think that's a beautiful win because it shows that the team are responding to what Ten Hag's trying to do. Luke Shaw in the post-match said, you just can't do, players can't get away with what they want to do. You know what I mean? You have to respond to what the manager's saying. And he said that was the problem in the past. So to see that the players are acknowledging that, yeah, change is here and are accepting the change, I'm loving what I'm seeing right now. And Ten Hag is Ten Hag. He is the coach that we saw at Ajax. He's the coach that Go Ahead Eagles had, Bayern Munich 2, Utrecht. All these teams have seen what this guy is doing, and we get to see now. And the Premier League is going to see what this guy is about on the bigger stage. So, yeah, I have no doubt about Ten Hag. I'm enjoying the way that we play. The way that we play just shows that if we just get a few signings in Jan, we can be calm. A midfielder and a striker. If we do that, we could be in a good position to get top 4. So great win. In the end, performances from players are improving. The defense today, guys. The defense. Malacia had a poor game in the first half, but second half against Adama Traore, brilliant. AWB has been revived. What is this guy? He's now better in the last 2 games than he's probably been since he first came. Like intelligence, defending, and even going forward. Terry, I know you say he annoys you going forward, but Ten Hag has instructed him, stop this crossing business. You play 1-2 touch football going forward and help facilitate the attack, and that's why he's been good at going forward, in my opinion. And then obviously Varane. Rolls-Royce Varane and Luke Shaw today, also brilliant. So yeah, I'm happy with how we're going. And let's see what we got going in the January transfer window.
Absolutely. What are you saying, Neeks? What are you saying, bro?
For me, Ten Hag's been vindicated again. It's not for the first time this season that his decisions have been questioned, whether it be by fans, whether it be by pundits. I'm not even saying the pundits question it this time because the track record thus far is, even if you're not sure why Ten Hag's made the decision, you have to accept it because ultimately he's been proved right. Whether it be the start of the season, playing certain players, then dropping them after the start of the season, whether it be the Ronaldo issue, whether it be starting or not starting Donny van de Beek, and now with the Marcus Rashford, like everybody was surprised. I mean, Rio Ferdinand was like, wait, like I didn't even hear that properly. Like, you got to say that again. Everyone was surprised when Ten Hag said, well, one, that Rashford was on the bench, and 2, that it was disciplinary reasons, because you don't really expect that from Rashford, whatever that is, the situation might be. It might not be anything very, very serious, but he was vindicated in the best way because, yeah, you could drop Rashford and lose the game, and people will say, oh, see, that's why he's an idiot, he's an ego, this, that, whatever. But the fact that he won, that's not the vindication. The vindication is the performance of Rashford when coming on. He could have come on and we could end up losing 1-0. But the way that he played when he came on showed that at least he knew that, yeah, the decision was fair. He didn't come on sulk. He didn't, or at least he accepted the decision. And that's what the situation that we're at Man United, where these players have to realize one way or another that it's Ten Hag's way or the highway. And that's the only way you're going to instill the discipline. And once you have that discipline on and off the field, the results are going to come because the quality of the players will always come to the fore in the end. And that's what we've been lacking. Shaw spoke about it potentially in the last few years. And the fact that Rashford's got this contract issue, of course, yeah, we've extended it for 1 year, but he's got this contract issue. Some managers in the past might have been more like, I want him to sign this contract, so I'm going to let him get away with it. But that don't breed anything positive going forward, because if you let him get away with it, then the next player is going to try it, and the next player is going to try it, and the next player is going to try it. So I wasn't happy Rashford was dropped because, one, he's in form, he's playing well, and you don't want players to be ill-disciplined. But if you are ill-disciplined, that's the way to deal with it. And the fact that he comes on and scored the winner, it's just poetic justice both for him and Man United fans in general. So I'm happy, man. I'm happy.
Mate, I mean, you're absolutely right. And I think that the thing about dropping Rashford that was so key is I was sort of half happy and half annoyed. I was annoyed that we weren't going to see him start. But in the medium to long term, it's the type of behavior that's needed from the manager, because Paul Scholes has told us this story about 10 times now. I've read it in his book as well. There was a time where he was regularly in the first team. He was told, listen, you're going to be starting away at some League Two team in the Carabao Cup or whatever it was called back then, the Coca-Cola Cup in the 90s. You're going to be starting in that game. And essentially benched at the weekend. Scholes said, I ain't going. And he refused to go and play the game. I think in the end, Fergie went, fine, you dropped. You don't have to play. But then he didn't pick him at all, left him completely out the squad for the next Premier League game. And Scholes said he never ever did it again. He really, like a young upstart, I'm killing it. The United fans love me. Why are you putting me in this game and not starting me for the one at the weekend? These moments of discipline are so key. And I bet City fans could tell you that Pep's done this on a number of occasions. I bet Klopp has done this at Liverpool in the last 5 to 6 years. Obviously, when Man United do it, it's huge news because of the size of the football club. But it was great to see. Dizzy, from your point of view, mate, like it was another win. That's 5 on the bounce in all competitions. 3 clean sheets on the bounce since returning from the World Cup. How impressed are you right now with this Man United team?
I think we're doing a good job so far. I don't think there's really anything to complain about. I think other than the Glazers leaving and the January transfer window being up in air because we don't know how much money we're going to spend, there's really nothing wrong at United at the moment, which is great to see. I think Ten Hag, his consistency in disciplining even for example, the Ronaldos and the Rashfords of the world, who traditionally they're like, we don't touch those people, we don't talk about them regardless of their behavior, we just don't talk about them, you know what I mean? I think that's important. And I think him picking players that are in good form, like a Garnacho, for example, it's a case of, well, Rashford's messing up, here you go take your opportunity. I think that's good moving forward as well. So I think there's a lot of good things going on at United at the moment, man. I don't think we can complain. 3 clean sheets and 5 wins in a row. Come on, man. What can we complain about?
Yeah, it's the first time we've won 5 games in a row since April 2021.
Oh, really? Mad.
So, yeah.
It's strange. We haven't felt this feeling of being able to go into games, no matter how we play, still think we're going to win for a long time. Yeah, the defense is so solid.
Because the defense is so good. And it's like, once one of Varane or Martinez is there, you're just confident that, and obviously David De Gea is in the form that he's in. You're confident that you can keep a clean sheet. It doesn't mean you're guaranteed to keep a clean sheet, but you're confident you can. And once you keep a clean sheet, all you need is one goal. And yeah, we miss a lot of chances, but we've got the quality of player there that one of those chances might and have been going in.
And he gets a lot of like stick, and people like to point him out because of the size of his head. But it helps not having a player like Harry Maguire, who's had so much scrutiny, so much weight on his head, on his shoulders, and every mistake that he does gets scrutinized heavily. It's actually good not having him in the team just for that as well, so that the defense can just focus on, all right, we keep it a clean sheet today. There's no, if he makes a mistake, it's all over, and there's no panicking when he's on the ball. It's all right, we're all solid. Luke Shaw in the left centre back position in the back 4, he's slotted in with ease. And again, Luke Shaw, when he's focused, disciplined, and fit and in shape, he's a very
quality player. He's a quality player. It's that consistency. We're just not sure. No pun intended. What sure we're gonna get week out or for any extended period of time. But so far this season, he's been brilliant.
And you know what else? The meritocracy is so important, man. So, like, for example, when Shaw is having a stinker, dropped him nowhere near the team. He comes back, he picks up some form. Now he's playing. You're finding positions where he can play. If Malash is having a good run, okay, play him left centre back. And it is that level of trust in the manager. I think it's like a trickle down effect. Because if you think about it, like, where's Sancho been?
In the mountains, my brother. In the
This is what I'm
mountains.
saying. He's in the
Don't
Himalayan
worry about
mountains
that.
doing meditation with the monks in that. But
And, but
and-
this,
and-
this is a part of the vindication in the sense of if we were losing these games, people would be like, some people are focused on the Sancho thing already, and some people focus on the Ronaldo thing because some of them may support Ronaldo more than the club. Some of them may just have a big affinity to Sancho that is clouding maybe their judgment of Ten Hag and the club in general. But because we're winning these games, those stories are just side issues. Sancho, he's training individually. Okay, let's go out and win. Oh, Sancho's back in Manchester. Okay, we got another game. And it allows him and Ten Hag to do what they need to do to get him back in the team when he's ready. There's no rushing back. There's no forcing the issue. If he's ready, you bring him back. And you don't bring him back until he's ready. It's as simple as that.
And the crazy thing is there's an opportunity now for him as well. Like, obviously Anthony's hasn't been performing that well for the last few games. He missed a lot of the end of before the break. He missed a lot of that because he was saving him. He was injured, but he was saving himself for the World Cup, which I don't fully agree with, but he did that. And he's come back, he's not in form. And now Ten Hag can be like, look, Sancho, you've gone away. We've done this training program with you. You're ready again. Here's a chance on the right-hand side now. Rashford's got the left down. Striker, we need to go buy one. But Anthony hasn't been performing. Go and take your shot now. Go and take your chance. Now is your time. And I like the fact that we have that option now. Whereas before it was like, if someone's not performing, it's like the players know they're not getting a chance. They just know it doesn't matter what they do. They're just not getting a chance. Ten Hag's like, no, this is how we run our ship. This is how I run my team. And this will be meritocracy going forward. And Wan-Bissaka now, I think you keep him in the team. Delo might come back, but keep Wan-Bissaka in the team until it shows us that Delo needs to come back in. Or Delo gets a game where he's performed so much better. We're like, okay, bring him back in the team. I believe that's what's going to happen going forward. I'm looking forward to, again, I just look forward to what we can build with this manager. We just need to keep giving the resources, giving him the time, and allowing him to do what he does, because I believe he's a special manager. I do. He's special.
He is.
Erik, have you seen Marcus Rashford's quote?
Yeah, he overslept and missed a team meeting. Yeah.
Oh,
again,
wait.
Marcus
Rashford?
Yeah. So he overslept and he missed a team meeting. And I think for me, like, that's not a big issue in terms of I'm not worried about him, but it's brilliant to see the manager drop him. It's brilliant to see the manager assert his authority. And as I said in the build-up before you guys all came out, this is what I've been more focused on than the manager, is how the owners were going to let him cook and behave. And dropping Maguire, moving on Cristiano Ronaldo, telling them, no, I don't want Rabiot, go and spend more money. Telling him to drop, who is it we were going to buy at centre-back? He's a centre-back, plays Pau Torres. The club wanted Pau Torres. The manager said, no, let's get Lissandro. The fact, and this is where I've got to give credit to the board, in the short term, they allowed him to have control and power in those circumstances, and we're seeing the benefits from that. We all know that we want far more. You know, we want to see Sancho come back and start doing what Rashford's doing. We want to see more purchases of the right types of players. We want to see the discipline maintain, the structure continue to grow, and we've got to do a lot better than be a top 4 team. Absolutely. We want to obviously get, we've had 4 horrible results in the Premier League this year where we've not been beat, we've been absolutely battered, conceded far too many goals. I actually think we've conceded 20 goals in the league this year, and I think 9, 10, 11, 15 of them came in those 4 defeats. So outside of those 4 defeats, we've been a very hard, difficult team to break down and beat, and we're only just beginning. I think the groundwork that he's put in place has been absolutely phenomenal. And Man United are a sleeping giant again, and rivals are feeling it. Rivals are seeing it, because what they are really desperate for us to do is focus on Anthony not being in form. And I said I'd talk about it, and I will. He's not in great form. He's actually annoying me at the moment, because the amount of times today he was put into one-on-one situation with a fullback, and he just not only will he not run at the fullback, he doesn't try and cross the ball early either. He just stands there, waits, and he reminds me of like when Antonio Valencia was fading as a winger, where he just kind of stand people up and not do anything. However, though, I'm not worried about him because I trust Ten Hag. I think he will come good at some point. United progressing and winning games means, as United fans, we don't need to overly focus on these situations because we're progressing and moving forward. The same as City fans are not holding debates over why Jack Grealish has been a flop, because in all intents and purposes, they couldn't care less. They couldn't care less. If Liverpool are top of the league right now, or second but in a title race, they wouldn't care and be so sensitive about the Darwin Núñez agenda that's out there. And they are very sensitive about it because they're not where they want to be. So, yeah, I'm really happy with the way we're moving. I think you guys have said it brilliantly. I want to do some of these super chats that have come through here. First one says, should United get a new centre-back in January and stop the Maguire drama?
No, because I know that we don't have limitless funds, and I don't think centre back is the priority, especially now that Shaw's showing that he can play in a centre back in a two. So no.
And is there really a Maguire drama? He's not playing, but is it really a drama though?
No, people want it to be a drama because they want Maguire to kick up a stink. They want Maguire to come on and be bad. They want these things to happen, but it's not a drama. Maguire's accepted what's going on. He knows within himself that he's not been good enough. Ten Hag knows he's not been good enough, and there's no drama. He's accepted that. Luke Shaw has come in and done the role that it needs to be done. When Sancho plays, he plays better than Maguire, so he gets to go in the team. That's all there is. Like, don't need to buy a new centre back. We'll move on Maguire in the summer and buy a new one then.
Yeah, we don't need to. There's some really good young players at the club as well that may be getting some opportunities, Bennett and the like. So we'll see what happens there. Andre says United weren't poor. They just lacked intensity, but they picked up the intensity in the second half. Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't say United were poor today. I just thought we lacked a clinical edge. I thought the clinical edge in front of goal was our problem. Rashford has more goals off the bench than any other United player except Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I do think Rashford has more match-winning goals.
Yeah, as a sub.
As a sub, I think he's got the huge amount of match-winning goals. And that's why the other day when he scored against Forest and people were like, it's only Forest, I'm like, you're acting like Rashford hasn't scored in big games, scored important goals. Like
big
Rashford,
game record, brilliant. Big game record better than the small game record. At one point.
This comment here says Anthony for 100 million. It was 90, but there we go. Needs to be spoken about. Dead. Like, what is your opinion, Neeks, on Anthony and his performances?
Well, my opinion on Anthony, I think he's a good player. I've seen already this season in spurts, generally more at the start when he first came in, but in spurts, and even in this game alone, where he's come in, he's run at player, his fullback, cut inside, got a shot off, blah blah. So I've seen the qualities there. The consistency over the 90 minutes going forward hasn't been there for, like, let's say, building into the World Cup and since he's come back. But I'm not worried because the quality is there. And it's his first season. I think he only had 1 year in Netherlands from coming from Brazil.
Oh,
and then
he had two.
It was 2 years, okay. And there's a big jump from the Dutch league to the English Premier League. So there's a lot going on. Like, I always give foreign players, whatever league they come from, a year. I expect the first year to be a bit tough. And if it's not tough, then well done. But I'm not expecting him to just hit the ground running and be the main guy. Yes, his price tag is high, but I judge my players at Man United based on the expectations of Manchester United, not their price tag. If we got him for free, I would be as not concerned as I would be when we got him for 100 million because he doesn't set his price. We want players to play at a certain level, regardless of what they cost. Rashford gets criticism, and he came from the academy. So what's the price I got to do with anything?
Yeah, we just need to give him time. We just need to give him time.
Yeah,
he's very, very raw. Like, obviously we didn't really watch him in the Eredivisie. He is a lot rawer than we thought he would be. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot to work on. He needs to work on his strength. He needs to work on his balance. And he's work on his confidence. Beating a guy in the Premier League, it's not the same. Premier League fullbacks are hard to beat.
The comment from Starlord says Anthony's off the ball defensive skills is top tier.
Well, he stopped.
Defensively, he's been brilliant.
He stopped a goal, or at least a clear attempt on goal from with a wonderful volley through ball from Neves, and that element of his game has been very, very good. The manager trusts him, and that's what the one thing I would say is this: rivals will look at GA only. The irony is the same people that will go, no, GA. When you say Rashford's world class because he's got great GA, they go, well, what about everything else? That's the irony of these same people. But the manager that we're waxing lyrical about, and people are saying, oh, he's building something, keeps picking him. He doesn't do favoritism, Ten Hag. He picks on meritocracy. He clearly knows there's issues with the player and things he wants to see improve. But the reason that Sancho was being dropped wasn't just because he wasn't always delivering in front of goal. It was because there was no work rate at the other end.
Yeah.
And you need that. The one thing, if you actually look at Liverpool and look at City, their star players work hard as well. They don't just walk around the pitch doing nothing. Like, they work their backsides off. United back Ten Hag, please. Player power killed the club. If he brings back a culture of discipline, the club will be on the right path. I think everybody would agree with you on that.
Yep.
Andre says, I agree, KJ. Wan-Bissaka has been good the past couple of games. He's always been defensively solid, but his decision-making on the ball has to be good. Just more proof that how a good coach, what a good coach Ten Hag is. Yeah, I think we spoke about that. I think you're absolutely right. Bissaka is solid. Give him some respect. Can I join? Not right now, my friend. We'll do some calls on the later show tonight. This is an interesting one. Many huge YouTubers, cough, Goldbridge, attack Ten Hag for benching Cristiano Ronaldo. TFT back Ten Hag, and it's paying off. Listen, I'm not gonna, listen. Goldbridge is Goldbridge. He is what he is. He's the most successful football influencer that there's ever been. So he deserves credit for that. But that doesn't mean he doesn't get things wrong. And I know he was one, and Rio Ferdinand was another. I saw many Man United fans online state that bringing him on late, dropping him, not bringing him, it's just disrespectful and we shouldn't do it. But a lot of us had this same opinion when it all happened, that no, the manager is got to be in control and got to have the power. You had Graham Souness say that he ain't Fergie. No one will remember Ten Hag in 5 years' time, so he shouldn't be allowed to have control or power. That train of thought is why Man United have been disgraceful for a decade. So yeah, thank you for shouting that out to us as a panel and as a group. One loss in 15 games. United has got their manager. Just need proper owners now. Bro. Yes, and then proper owners come in. When those proper owners come in, jeez, it's gonna be.
Bro, if we can get owners that actually want to build a football team and not just milk it, it might be scary. I'm not gonna lie, because there's still areas of the pitch where we're weak or light or could use some improvement. And even like stuff like the training facilities, the ground and stuff like, oh man, only one can dream. One can only dream.
Absolutely. Well, I think we'll get there. United are a sleeping giant, huge club now, have a brilliant manager. As a football fan, I love Rashford's career arc. As an Arsenal fan, I am salty when he scores. Of course, the thing is as well with Rashford had that big downturn. And everybody was like, oh, I know what rivals really thought. It was, thank God he isn't continuing to score and assist and be as good as he was for those two seasons where he started to show his very best. Thank God he's dipping. Thank God. Hopefully he was just like a good youngster that fades. Hopefully he does a Jack Wilshere or something. But in reality, they all knew the injury and a proper manager and a system at the club would create a star out of this guy. And Marcus Rashford is legit. And I listen, there's a lot of content creators out there I've got a lot of time and personal respect for, but I am calling you out. The apologies have to be massive, because a lot of them got caught 3 years ago when at the end of Jose saying he's a championship player, shouldn't start. Then he went on that 2-year run. They were like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry I said what I did. Then he had that bad run of form like everybody did at the end of Ollie and Ralph era. And they went, see, I knew I was right 3 or 4 years ago. He was a championship player. Now what are you going to say? You're going to flip-flop again, or will you just hold your hands up and say you don't like Rashford personally, so you hate on him as a player because he's a star?
Also, if we're calling...
Okay, go on. Sorry. Go on.
No, I was about to say, if we're calling people out, yeah, fam, the woman you live with, Terry, she was getting on to me for supporting Rashford in the summer when I was like, oh, just give him one more chance. She's like, no, KJ, he's crocked. He's done. Yes, you can't be backing him. You can't be backing him. Yeah, bring her here. Bring her here now, fam.
Yeah,
bring her here.
God damn.
I've been holding on to this, bro. I've been waiting. Now's the time. Now's the time.
Yes. The funny thing is, most Arsenal fans would have loved
Okay,
Rashford
she got
in
it.
it.
Okay, I'll continue on what I'm saying. The Jess was getting on to me saying, KJ, you're too sentimental. Stop holding on. Let him go. He's finished. When he started to hit form again, listen to this girl. Like, oh yeah, well, we all know this is the player that Rashford is. We all know that he could play this well. Like, this is the mush. I was like sitting there like, wait, you was telling me that he's done and he needs to go like Dele Alli. Nah, man, I'm sick of it. Arsenal fans, let it go, man. Let it go. Rashford.
Next time she's on the show, this is what I need. I'm writing it. The comment in the comment section now. This is just what we've got to say to Jess when she comes on this. Her name for a little while is just gonna be less. Less. I thought Neeks did exactly the same time as me as well. Less in there. We'll get his spam. But listen, it's funny as well because someone called me out the other day going, "Oh, you said in the summer that Rashford shouldn't get a new deal," and I'm like, why don't you listen to the whole sentence? I said that I would be worried about him going PSG. There's a player in there. And by the way, in the Uber Eats League, this man scores 30+ league goals in a season playing for PSG. Easy. But equally, I didn't want Rashford getting that new deal before he showed us that until he proved he's getting back to this level. He had to do that. And that's why I'm really happy with what Ten Hag's done, how he's managed it. Also, we have to credit Ten Hag for recognizing that Sancho needed this training so he could get back to his best. Very, very true indeed. Anthony doing the basics, settling in. He'll be okay, is what David Gardner said. Also, it didn't help him scoring in his first 3 games because it sets a very high bar. A little like Garnacho. When Garnacho missed that chance today and wasn't impactful, you see it on socials from rivals. Your star boy had a bad game. It's like, listen, I'm a massive fan of Bukayo Saka, but Saka wasn't playing in the first 18 months, 2 years like he is now in terms of performance, regular GA, carrying his team. He was putting in great moments and he was having lots of brilliant displays, but he was young and it took him time. And like, I'm just not going to, and Man United fans, I implore you, do not be goaded by rivals into overhyping the players. It's as simple and as straightforward as that.
A lot of the Anthony criticism, without surprise, is coming from Arsenal fans. Arsenal fans who obviously scored against them on his debut, and that hurts them. And they're trying to rid themselves of the ghost of Nicolas Pepe, and they're trying to move that onto Anthony. Left footed,
they're trying to move
right
on to
winger,
Sancho as well.
70+ million. That's what they tried. Yeah, they tried it with Sancho, and they're not sure because Sancho might come back. So they're literally reaching anyone. Please just take this Pepe tag off us. Relax. Just focus on your title win. Well done. Congratulations. You finally won the Premier League since 2004. And let us just do our thing down in lowly 4th place, innit? So don't worry about us. Don't worry about us.
Top 4 is there, though. I would say that. I think top 4 is right there for us to get.
100%. We're in it until we're not.
I mean,
we got a good chance. We got a good chance. I know our next Premier League game is it Bournemouth?
Yeah, Bournemouth. Then it's the
and then we got the cups, but then
FA
Man
Cup.
City, Arsenal after that. So I think come out of January, let me see where we are because we got those 2 big Premier League games. We got the 2 cup games, and then I think there's Barca at the beginning of February or something like that. But where we are in the position, we are in a good position.
Yeah, I mean, and you know,
ahead of Chelsea and ahead of Liverpool.
Yo, we can actually win a trophy this year. Remember, we're in the quarters of the Carabao Cup against, is it Charlton? Is our next game?
Yeah.
Against Charlton, I will bet us to beat them and go through to the semi-finals. Once you're in the semis, is it still 2 legs for the Carabao Cup semis?
I think it's only one. I think it's only one.
I think it's one still.
One because of the concertina. It was one last year, so I assume it's one.
So if it's still one, bruv, you're 2 games away from winning a trophy. Yeah. And at the start of the season, we got told we can't win anything. So we've started off a lot better than rivals 4 and even Man United fans 4 as well.
A few comments are saying it's 2. We'll see. But either way, like United have got a good chance there. I think for me, look, we'll beat Bournemouth at home. And that isn't me being overconfident. That we'll beat Bournemouth at home, in my opinion. The crowd will be up for it. And we had to win those 3 games. The 2 we've won in this one. Those 9 points. Because then we go into massive games where home to City, away to Arsenal. I think the most optimistic United fan would go, the best prediction you could really hope for is about 2 points from that. City are what they are, and Arsenal at the Emirates, almost impossible to beat. But you suddenly walk away from that game with those 2 games with 4 points, or maybe even a more mad one, 6. I don't think we can beat Arsenal away right now. They look that good. But say you walk away with 4 points from that, United are in the race. But the one thing I will say is this: I'm not writing off Newcastle, especially as they're going to spend in Jan. They look like they're going for Madison and Tillemans, like there's legitimately. They're also putting in a big. They're the
Sorry,
one.
who's this? Go for
Newcastle could go in for both. Equally, what I was told yesterday is Newcastle, the only Premier League club willing to pay the complete £18 million fee and salary for João Felix. They could legitimately bring him in. So I'm not going to write Newcastle. Yeah, I'm not going to write Newcastle off on that. I'm also not writing Liverpool off because Liverpool are too good. Their manager's too good. But the one thing I am going to say now, as an adjustment to my predictions, Man United will finish the season ahead of Tottenham. We'll finish the season ahead of Tottenham. We will finish in front of them. We are a superior team. When you look at the league table, yes, you'll look at it and go, well, United have only got a +4 goal difference. How can we be better than the teams around us? Listen, we've got the second most amount of clean sheets in the Premier League. We just had 4 games where we would just beat ridiculously. And the 2 of them were in the opening 2 matches before the manager had even made any real changes. You had the City game, which was an anomaly, and then you had the Villa game, which was a poor performance. But we have been, in 16 games we've played, better than Tottenham. We battered Tottenham, and we haven't even got to settle a team or system as them. They've had the manager a lot longer than we have. So, look, I'm really confident we can finish in front of Tottenham. That's not a dig at them for saying they're a bad team. I'm just saying Man United are better than Tottenham now. Now, that isn't an achievement. I don't want an award or a certificate. That's just, in my opinion, that's getting back to normality means you're better than Tottenham. And we've got to move on to the next one. But, we've got to move on to the next one, which is becoming a regular Champions League team again, and then moving on to the level that we want to get back to, which is challenging for those Premier League titles. And we are only 1 point off third. 2 points off. They're 1 point off third. I'm looking at a live table. So Newcastle have got a point right now because I think they're playing, aren't they? So, they've got another point right now. But again, we're only a couple of points behind Newcastle, who we have a game in hand over, by the way. And they were spoken about after their last win as title contenders. It's crazy. Now, I'm not going to go that far with Man United, but we're well in this top 4 race. People writing us off are mad, and everyone's got an L for that because no one predicted us in the top 4. No one predicted us. Most didn't even put us in the top damn 6. So I can't wait.
What did Boovy say at the TFT live show? He said we'll be lucky to pick in the top 10.
No, lucky to finish 10th. That's what he said. That's what he said. Boovy, my guy, love your content. You are salty as hell, fam. You are salty as hell. Yeah, man. Wonderful times coming, man.
No, it is. And what scores in the other games? All still 0-0 at the minute, which is mad.
Everything's 0-0.
Everything's 0-0 right now. But I also love putting out that Igal has admitted that Man United are a top team. You guys need to get on the retweet on that one. What Igal did, he didn't think my tweet. I didn't put it out there for any particular reason, but I did the whole top teams win these games, and he's like, "Yep," because I knew what he did. Yep, for that's you can imagine the gal's face, can't you? Yep,
of course.
Yep, only top teams will win this game, and then we do.
Oh man, he's probably gonna start whispering to us of why why Arsenal are a more threatening team than United.
Yeah, I do love an Igal whisper. When Igal gets threatening, he whispers. It's like he goes all Liam Neeson. Do you know what I mean? From Taken. I have a particular set of skills. But there we go. Listen, viewers, I appreciate you all tuning in. We're back live later today after the Arsenal game. There'll be a reaction after the 3 o'clock games as well. Don't you worry about that. Please make sure you're smashing like buttons. Make sure you're subscribing to the Football Terrace. Thank you to all of my panelists today, Neeks, Dizzy, and KJ, my super chatters. Thank you. I want to wish everybody, if I don't see you, a very happy, healthy, and prosperous new year.
Yep, happy New Year to everyone.
New Year settings 2023.
Happy New Year for us. We're going with a win. That's all I'm happy about. Like the day can go well now. But until next time, my people, look after yourselves. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And see you all again.